Key, you agree with Aikman's comments?
I mean, Troy's calling games and he's watching a lot of the film, but I certainly think that CeeDee Lamb has gotten better at getting open from a year ago when they started moving him around after the San Francisco debacle. They started deciding to move him in different places to get him open. Now, one thing certainly that Troy is right about is coming off the line of scrimmage. When you don't come off the line of scrimmage with sudden quickness and explosiveness, and you kind of just playing brother-in-law and the guy grabs you and Velcro you, the quarterback's off of you. You know, he's strapping you down. And so you see that a little bit in some of CeeDee Lamb's game. But overall, Troy is right, though. Precision, understanding the routes, understanding combination, when to stick the foot in the ground, how to come back down, gives the confidence to the quarterback to get you the football. Now, Troy played with Michael Irvin. Michael going to be exactly where he's supposed to be, and Troy knew that at all times. You can't just be running around, running out there, thinking freelancing and getting open in the quarterback, because real quarterbacks, they're going to get off of you in a heartbeat. They're going to look and see you over there playing chicken fight, they on to the next. And that's what happens in these situations. Right. If you look at that clip, and I don't know which game it was, but CeeDee Lamb's right there at the bottom of the screen. He's sitting over there playing chicken fight with the dude. Dak is looking to throw him the ball. Dak's holding on. He finally throws it to him. It's incomplete, but the dude is strapped all over it. Yeah. He's got to be a little more physical, big, at the point of attack, and I think he can do it. But Troy is right to some aspects. Yes, he is.
Well, the Cowboys stood idle this week as we saw both Devontae and Amari Cooper get traded. But Jerry Jones made it clear this week that he has no interest in making moves ahead of the November 5th trade deadline. What do you think, Jordan? Is it a mistake for the Cowboys to stand pat at the deadline?
Absolutely. I mean, they don't have enough weaponry for Dak. They just paid Dak $60 million a year, highest paid ever, but they haven't given him enough of an arsenal. They didn't sign Derrick Henry. We've talked about this, I believe, but Derrick Henry lives in Dallas in the offseason, would have been a great Cowboy. He leads the league in rushing over 700 yards. They didn't sign him. You know, they're relying a lot on young, unproven guys. Brandon Cooks is on IR. Jalen Tolbert's their number 2. They just don't have enough for Dak right now. And
but what could they get? What could they get?
I think it's going to be, the wide receiver market is going to be the most volatile of any position ahead of the deadline. And I would say, if you ask me right now, over under 5 more wide receiver trades, I'll take the over in the next few weeks.
Who, though? Like, who? Give me an example of who's going to take the Dallas Cowboys.
I said Mike Williams, and you said you didn't like it for Dallas.
Who's going to take the Dallas Cowboys from where they're at?
Just to kind of just say we made a move and you still be the same team.
You got to get it.
I disagree.
Well, the defense
because that's always what the Cowboys say. Oh, well, who's out there? Who's available? That's why they hardly ever make moves in
but no,
the offseason.
But Joy,
no self-awareness.
Whenever you make an off-season, not even off-season, in-season move before trade deadline, in football, you're getting a piece that's taking you over the top. Major League Baseball, I need a middle reliever. I go get me one. I need a guy who's on an expiring contract. Oh, Justin Verlander, he's available. Right. Let's grab him.
So go out and make someone available who's not available. Make an offer.
But why am I going to give you
because you are not good right now, and you're not contenders at all.
But in football, not one guy that you can get takes you and puts you over the top.
Make more than one move.
If you make a trade, it's a trade
different.
to prepare for the future.
Yeah.
There's no guy out there you can bring in.
Who you bringing in?
Right now that say, if we get him, we going to the playoffs.
But this is always what the Cowboys say. That's fine. Actually, if they don't make any moves, they
also need a lot defensively. I mean, they're, 167 points over the last 4 home games. That's the 3rd most ever in a stretch. They've given up. They've lost 3 straight at home. On top of that, they're dead last in run defense, dead last in scoring defense. But they brought in Mike Zimmer to replace Dan Quinn, and it's been an absolute catastrophe. Zimmer, I mean, Quinn was top 10. They were in defense 3 years in a row, and Zimmer comes in. So what's happened?
Bottom of the barrel.
They still have the same play. I mean, they've had injuries.
But first of all, personnel-wise, you got 2 different schemes. You got Dan Quinn's scheme. You got Mike Zimmer's scheme. You had Nolan scheme, then you got Dan Quinn. Remember, it took a minute for Dan Quinn to get it going because you got to get the right personnel in to run exactly what it is that you're running. You got smaller linebackers when you used to having beef and stout. You got smaller corners when you want big corners, or you got big corners when you like quicker, smaller corners. So all of those sort of things. But to you, Joy, you couldn't tell me a player that has been moved in the middle of a season to take a team and take them to the Super Bowl. That's what the Cowboys trying to get to.
Nobody makes trades. So then nobody should be making trades. What are people making trades for then?
The San Francisco 49ers are already a good football team.
You don't think that Amari Cooper, which we'll talk about in a second, you don't think Amari Cooper puts the Bills in a better position than they were in?
Much better.
A team that's already contending?
Yes, that's the Bills, though. He wouldn't put the Cowboys in a better position because the Cowboys need like 20 different things.
Okay, but what you're saying is we need too much, so we should do nothing.
Yes.
Sometimes it's good to stand pat.
Okay, so then that's
It's good to stand pat.
That's fine.
And then stand pat for 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Just signed the biggest
this is what I'm
contracts.
saying. So if you're going to do that, can we please stop talking about the Cowboys as contenders?
It's not going to happen.
I don't need to talk about the
Until they are
Cowboys.
mathematically eliminated, they're going to always be contenders.
Based on what?
Based on them being the Cowboys.
Exactly. Based on a star being
You
on the
asked
helmet.
what? I'm just telling you.
Okay, but I'm glad because now we're getting to the real, right? We're digging. There it is. It's just because the star's on the helmet. Because if you're not going to do anything, and the excuse is we need too much, so we're going to do nothing.
In football,
then,
you got to do it in the offseason.
But they didn't do it in the
I understand. And so everybody's saying, well, they should do something at the deadline. The owner is saying no.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's stop talking about the Cowboys as contenders because right now they are not contenders.
I'm not talking about them as contenders.
Then we don't need to talk about them.
They're not. Who's better? Who's in a better place the rest of the year, Cowboys or Jets? I think the Jets.
What do you think, Paul?
That's a good question. Jets.
I still think the Jets could win their division. I don't think the Cowboys are their next 5 games. I can see them dropping.
No, they're about the same.
Do you think they should make a move, Paul?
I don't think they should make a move. This the thing is, I don't want to trade for mediocrity. You know, if I'm like, think about this: the Bills, they're 4-2. They just got better. So they're like, shoot, we could probably win the Super Bowl. We just added a primetime receiver. If our defense can hold, Josh Allen can help carry us.
They have no receiver. The Cowboys have a receiver named CeeDee Lamb, who's pretty good.
You can argue that Dallas has more talent than the Bills. You can argue that. But the Bills have a superstar quarterback who can carry a team, who can actually win games. So I don't want to spend more money.
$60 million. What is he? He's an All-Pro last year and an MVP finalist.
Let's talk about Buffalo because that team is.
All right, let's talk about Buffalo.
That team is
a team that has been making moves. The Bills. They traded for wide receiver Amari Cooper this week. He's no stranger to a trade, as this is the 4th team he's been on in his career, and he was asked if a change of scenery will reinvigorate him for the season. Fresh start in Buffalo for Amari Cooper, Key?
Man, he got an extra pep in his step. He ain't got to worry about no Deshaun Watson, no Jameis Winston. He got to worry about none of that. I got Josh Allen. I got a guy who could potentially be an MVP in this league. I know what he's going to do. I saw what he did with Stephon Diggs. I know I'm as good as Stephon Diggs. And on top of that, I'm on an expiring contract. I'm going to probably get about 1,300 total yards, about 9 touchdowns, about 80-something catches. They're going to re-sign me. I'm going to be with him for the next 4 years. He happy as pie. He's so happy. Oh, man, he's so happy.
There's so many reasons why it's such a great fit. But number one is Amari Cooper is he's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's a great
he can play.
Yes. But on top of that, I think he's the perfect type of player, type of person.
Yeah.
Because now you have a real pro who's going to come in and amplify, be a force multiplier for Keon Coleman and Shakir and Kincaid and Knox and James Cook. They have players, but they needed that number one. They've known it the last few weeks. And what you're doing with Amari Cooper is not only getting a motivated receiver who's going to be a free agent. Worst case scenario, he goes out and balls, he leaves, you still can get a comp 5th round pick. So Buffalo, and you're paying him $800,000.
Yeah, it costs you nothing.
So Buffalo doing this now was the perfect move. They're 24th and 3rd down this year, and they're running the ball 20. I think they're the 5th most runs in the league. So now 24th and 3rd down, that becomes 8th or 10th with Amari.
That's the same thing that happened to Dak Prescott when they got him from the Raiders. Is Dak Prescott and them was at the bottom barrel on 3rd down.
Right.
He got there, and I think they were in like the top 5.
And so you have a true number 1 3rd down guy, and also you can now throw the ball 55, 56% as opposed to 50-50 right now. Take some of the load off James Cook. It's going to help Josh Allen down the field. It's going to do wonders for that offense, and I think it's a great move. And one more thing, I don't think they're done. I do not think they're done. I think linebacker and safety there they could pursue.
Jamal Adams is
Team
available.
doing things.
Hey, listen. This reminds me of when Kevin Garnett came to Boston. It opened everything up for me. Same thing. It was a guy. We had a number one guy with another 1B guy. It could be either way, either way. I mean, that's the thing. Think about it. You wake up in Cleveland, and now you're shipped off to New York.
Well,
I mean, Buffalo.
Buffalo's Western New York.
Listen, let me tell y'all something.
See, a New Yorker going to tell you immediately, no, don't do that.
I don't care. I done played in plenty of playoff series in Cleveland. Everything is an upgrade from Cleveland.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
telling you. Everything
We like Cleveland, by the way. Continue to keep watching.
I do not like Cleveland. I do not
I'm
care.
from Pittsburgh.
We like Cleveland. Keep watching the show.
Okay.
Don't listen to Paul.
Yeah, keep
We like
watching. Keep
Cleveland.
hate watching. We're watching for Keith.
Those bugs out there.
Yeah, they come out of the lake.
Oh, my gosh.
They come out of the lake and then they fly up to the.
We love Cleveland. Cleveland's a great place.
Nope.
What are they called?
I don't know what they
June
call.
bugs. I call them June
No,
bugs.
they're not June bugs. They call
They
something
come
else.
out
No
in
one
June.
knows what they're called. What are they called?
So wait, who's Josh Allen and who's KG?
Oh, good question.
Amari Cooper, I mean.
No, the difference is Josh Allen didn't call Amari Cooper and beg him to come.
No, I
That's a
didn't do
big
that.
difference.
I didn't do that.
That's
I
what
didn't
he's
say you did anything. I didn't say no names. Big dog will bark, but I didn't say no names.
So Paul is
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Paul is Josh
Allen.
I didn't say no names. Paul.
He said Paul.
Big dog will bark. I said no names.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.